So good afternoon, everybody, once again. My name is Pugal. Let me just quickly give a brief introduction about myself. I have been part of Tally for the last 15, almost 25 years. And I have played various roles, uh, being partnering with Tally. Before joining Tally, I was an education partner, and I joined Tally in 2002. And I was given various responsibilities. In fact, when I joined, I was heading the education division. Then I moved into R&D, and me and my team were responsible for creating in 2005 when VAT was introduced. Me and my team were the functional experts in the R&D, and we were responsible in providing the complete module of VAT for each and every state. And after that, basically, I moved into, I'm sure that all of you are aware of this audit tool. And I was told this, the audience here is all chartered accountants. So I was, me and my team were the product management team for the auditor edition of Tally, where we had those tax audit. Now tax audit is not there. We had this, we have the statutory audit and compliance part. The entire module and entire features were developed. I mean, function. We had given the functional specs for to be developed in Tally. And post that, I also took the responsibility of being the project manager, and I was managing various projects. And I was also deeply involved in the GST era. So I was basically made the Center of Excellence, head of Center of Excellence for GST knowledge dissemination for various stakeholders like our partner ecosystem, our colleagues, employees, team, and all those things. Just 2 years back, I retired. I took a voluntary retirement, and now I am a senior consultant in Tally. I am still part of Tally, and I basically conduct a lot of the webinars and various knowledge-based sessions for Tally. So total experience, I have about 36 years of experience in the field of accounts, inventory, compliance part, and basically I am a BCom, and I've done my CA. I've just cleared the inter part of it. I mean, I couldn't complete the entire CA. So the today's subject that we are going to see is basically the outstanding and effective inventory management. Now, I mean, like the idea for me to select this particular topic is because we are going through a phase where in our lifetime we have never seen this kind of a situation which has arisen in this last 2 months, and we don't know to what extent it is going to carry on. And we also know that this is completely dismantled the entire economy, the entire way the every living being in this world, the way we are going to live, the way we are going to now carry on with our lifestyle, carry on with our various other activities is going to change. And especially now, this has also created a lot of impact. I mean, all of us are aware of the kind of impact, especially amongst the MSME segment. So what we thought is that this would be a right time to okay, I mean, these are not a new feature in Tally. In fact, these features have been there for the last 25 years in Tally. But then how do we now leverage on these features? One second. Yeah, how do we leverage these features? So I just want to quickly give some introduction part, and then I will move on to the Tally software. So basically, we have to see that we have this outstanding payable feature in Tally, and we also have inventory from Tally 5.4 onwards. Then during these hard times, because now money is going to be a very critical thing for every one of us. Whoever is in business profession, money is going to play a very important role. And now we have to see that how diligently we are able to handle this part, so that we are comfortable with our cash flows and working capital and various other aspects. So one of the critical thing is the receivable part. How do we handle them and see what is the impact on delayed payments, and how can we uh, leverage the features of Tally and then be on top of this outstanding statement is one aspect that we are going to see, which is going to be the major area that we are going to cover. And the part two of our session is going to be basically effective inventory management. Here the core objective of this module in this session that we are going to cover is that how effectively we can have just in time inventory, because again this is very very critical for us to ensure that we have a good amount of cash flow and there is working capital. Because the next 6 months, in fact, if you can just recall the statement made by Sri Ratan Tata ji. In fact, I just got this through a WhatsApp group where he said the year 2021 is the year of survival, right? So he says first in the year 2021 you survive, and then we will think about expanding business or profession or whatever it is. So basically, Tally as a tool, how can it help is what we are going to see in this session. So the session coverage is basically going to be effective management of the bill-wise feature in Tally, and broadly we are going to touch upon the credit management and how we can actually uh, leverage the interest module. I mean, like I'm sure all of you know that Tally also has an interest module, but then how we can integrate this interest module in the credit management system, and then see what is the loss that we are incurring on the delayed payment. So that's the area that I would be covering. And then we will be covering on the effective inventory management, where we can quickly see that what are the things that we can enable, maybe not as a formal process or as a policy of an organization or as a firm that we wanted to do, but by enabling these things we will have better control over the movement of our inventory and also over the stock positions. So if you take the outstanding management, so one is basically, if you see, Tally is already, I mean, like given this credit management feature in Tally, where we can set the default credit period for the party. In fact, I mean, like the receivable and also payable management, because we are aware that the generally what happens as a business, I mean, like I'm more worried about my receivables rather than payables. But when the things are changing now, I mean, like with the uh, especially with the GST in place, I mean, like we know that the credit credibility in the market is very very critical. So as a self disciplinary, we can also set the credit limit or the credit period on our own vendors, and then see how good a paymaster we are. Then we can also set the credit days during the entry, like checking the credit days. Like as when you are passing the, I'll be demonstrating these aspects of it, so we can check whether when you're making another the second invoice or the second sale, if there is any due, if there is any overdue, while making the invoice, before even I'm like completing your invoice, Tally is going to give you those messages. The third aspect from the credit outstanding management is basically we can specify the credit limit. And I don't know how many of you are aware of this, that this is the only place in Tally, in the entire Tally product, this is the only place where Tally stops from moving forward if there is an exception. Because you know that all other areas in Tally, if there is an exception, Tally is going to warn and allow the user to move forward and make the correction at a later stage. But this is one place where if a credit limit is specified for a party, and if the credit limit is exceeding, Tally will not allow to make the invoice. Tally will not allow you to save the invoice. This is the only place in entire product of Tally which stops the person from moving forward. And also, basically we can override the credit limit with the post-it identity. For example, there is a credit limit I have specified for my customer, and let us say that he's given me a post-dated check. right? So now there is an option in Tally where I can say, okay, if I receive a post-dated check, consider that post-dated check for the credit limit, and if it is within the credit limit, allow me to pass the invoice. So these are the four configurations that are available for the party ledger where you can set the credit limit. So these are the party masters where for sundry debtors and sundry creditors. Then leveraging the bill-wise detail is that we have for all the trading account, we have this bill-wise detail, and we also have this non-trading where you can enable this bill-wise detail. And actually this is like, I mean, like using the bill-wise detail for the convenience of my business. How can I quickly handle this and then do this for my business? Like one is that if you see handling my loan installment, supposing I take a loan. Now with this bill-wise detail, I can split my loan based on my EMI due dates or my installment due dates, so that I will know exactly what is the due on an ongoing basis. And also this helps in another area which I'll be covering little later. The other aspect, we can actually leverage the bill-wise detail, especially with the non-trading. And just one example is because, in some place where I had gone and met some client, I just saw that, they have various advances for their employees, 3 4 types of advances. And when I went and saw their chart of account, I saw almost about 200 ledgers created just for the salary advance for each one and for each type of uh, advances that they provide to their employees. Now, with this help of bill-wise detail, we can actually have, literally, we can have one ledger for one employee, irrespective of what type of loan that he is taking. We can actually track them. We can also actually see them, and also we can spread the repayment period based on the understanding that we have with the employee. So these are some of the areas where basically it gives me the, on a real-time basis, it gives me on month what is the outstanding that is there, or how do I handle my working capital. The other important aspect which was I had mentioned earlier is that tracking of loss uh, by way of ROI. So we, let us assume as a business practice that I give credit. There is a credit period or there is a credit policy, but then I mean, most of the cases, especially if you take the MSME segment, most of the cases, I mean, basically, in fact, I used to conduct a lot of sessions for the MSMEs, and invariably, I have heard the MSME saying that, sir, the minimum day for us is 90 days. For me, the moment I raise an invoice, it takes 90 days. And if we get the payment within 90 days, we are very happy. Now, what if they don't get? Supposing if they give 90 days credit period, and what if they don't get the money as per the credit period or as per the due date? So what is the loss of interest? What is the loss that they are incurring? So how do we get to know about this? Maybe, we might not, it is very difficult for us to now have a stringent credit policy saying that, over and above the due date, interest is to be charged. There might be few businesses where we can do it. But now as a business owner, or as a owner of my organization, whether it is a service oriented business, service oriented organization, or manufacturing or trading, whichever it is, now I can actually see what is the loss that I am incurring, which is hidden. Basically, what is the loss that I'm incurring on non-receipt of the due amount as per the due date. So this is one aspect. So how do we see this? A very, very simple thing is that enabling the interest calculation option. Just enable, and these are some which I'm going to show you in the product. These are the configuration which you need to do just one time, and it is not difficult. It is quite easy, very simple. One time you just do this, and then you will see the kind of result that you're going to get, and you can take a lot of informed business or your professional decision based on these features. Okay, the cash projections, like, see, once we have, sorry, I mean, like, this animation is gone a little haywire. So once we, basically once we have the bill-wise detail enabled, and with the proper bill-wise detail management, right? So we automatically Tally, there is a new feature which was introduced a couple of years back, which is the cash projections. Now, if we manage this payable, receivable, the bill wage detail, and if we start capturing the transactions properly and set the credit period at date, you will automatically get the credit, the cash projections will automatically be available. Second part is that you can manage the cash flow or the working capital. You can manage by click of a button. And the best part with this cash projection is that like there is an option in Tally where you can actually create a provisional transactions for all your upcoming expenditure and your other incomes also can be done. Mostly it is expenditure where there are some fixed costs like salaries, rent, and various other costs. It is like I think you are aware that Tally has a feature which is scenario management. So by enabling this, all we need to do is just pass those entries as an optional voucher, which I'm going to show that in the product. Pass them as an optional voucher, and the best part here is that you can include these transactions, the future provisional transactions, into your cash projections, and you can actually arrive at the actual cash projections month on month. Okay, so these are something which are already there, which we need to just awaken them up. That's it. Now, as far as the optimizing of inventory is concerned, like one is the valuation of inventory. So how do we value inventory? There are certain cases where some businesses would want to value their, not all the inventory. By default, Tally, like we are aware, by default Tally has got the inventory valuation as the average costing. That's the default stock valuation method in Tally. Now, some would want to have a different valuation method based on their business conditions. How do we now? Enable the valuation for different stock items? Is what one we will see. How do we do the valuation? And also there are various what if report in Tally where you can see the stock position based on various inventory valuation method that Tally provides just by click of a button. The second one is, now how do we manage consumables valuables? Now, in many places I have seen that especially in the manufacturing companies, many a times basically they want to manage the inventory of the consumables, but at the same time they would don't want, it becomes very cumbersome for them to start issuing for every consumable, for example bolts, nuts, and various other consumables. They don't want to basically keep issuing it, but at the same time they would want to know what is the quantity and the value of consumable that they have purchased. That way they can actually monitor on month whether these consumables are being utilized as required or as per the normal requirement, is one aspect of it. The second aspect in Tally also we have many a times what happens, now we in Tally also provides the service or the accounting invoice. Many times some businesses, these are the various requirements that people have. Many times what happens, people like AMC and various other charges, they would create a stock item. They would create a stock item for raising an invoice. Now, for example, a service charge or AMC charges, which I am going to create as a stock item. Generally, what happens, you're not going to manufacture. You're not going to trade, or you're not going to buy and sell it. You're not going to manufacture. But then, if you keep making sales, what happens? The value is going to show negative, and it is going to impact the closing value of the stock, where people deal with service and goods also. So how do we manage that is a couple of things that we will be seeing in Tally. Then we will see what is your committed supply. So this is one module in Tally where you can enable the sales order processing, and then you can see what is the commitment that has been there, and day on day or week on week, what is your commitment, and whether you have the required material for those commitments. Of course, taking into consideration the the time period and various other aspects of it. Then the orders required, right? What is the orders? What is the quantity that is required for you to keep up to the commitment, and what are the orders that needs to be placed? Whether you are going to get them at the right time so that you are able to keep up to the commitment. And with this two feature of sale order and purchase order enabled, right? So we can also, use this reorder status in Tally, which is there, where the user can actually specify. There is a simple reorder and simple minimum order, and also there is an advanced feature. So I'm just just taking into as an example, simple reorder. If you see, a person can actually set up the reorder level. What is the reorder level? You can also set up based on the different vendors terms and conditions. You can also set up the minimum order level. By doing this is what we will achieve, that whether we are able to get just in time stock so that we are not overstocking the inventory and struggle with the cash flow. So this is where I thought the outstanding and the inventory management is the two areas which, with the help of Tally, it could really give a better uh, control over their businesses. So I would now just move on to Tally. So first let me go to balance sheet. Now, in all my session, uh, I always, tell the attendee, I'm sure that majority of you here must be using Tally at least on an average for over 10-15 years. But then I always make it a point, because I realize that this very important thing that I always deliberate with the attendees or people who are attending my sessions, that as a Tally user, we need to understand two very important secrets. Now, if you understand, if you remember this, if you start leveraging these two very important secret in Tally, believe me, you don't need anybody's help. You don't have to call Tally help. You don't have to call any person for any assistance. You can comfortably navigate Tally, and you can see reports which are unimaginable. Uh, you would have never even thought that, oh, Tally can give these kinds of report, and that too with the speed and convenience, so that my train of thought is not going to get disturbed. So what are the two secrets? The secret number one is very important, is that we have this button bars. One is, there is a button bar on top of Tally screen, then there is button bar at the bottom of the screen. You will see there in the balance sheet there. Then on the right hand side you will see various button bars, right, on the right hand side. So the secret number one, very important, is that in whichever screen of Tally you are in, whether you are in company creation screen, master creation screen of accounts or inventory, or you are in the voucher entry screen, or you are in the report, the first secret, whatever you want to do, you need to add some information, specify some field, but then that is not visible on the screen. Or you want to see this report, the balance sheet report, I want to see in a different way. I want more information on that. I don't know what to do. Like, for example, if I want to compare. So the first secret is that please concentrate on the right hand side button bar. 50% of the time, whatever you would want to achieve or you want to do, you will get it on the right hand side button bar. Now, what you want to do, if you are not getting it, then use this secret number two. The secret number two is your F12 configuration. Now, this F12 configuration is also on the button bar. So if you are not getting what you want to achieve, or what you intend to get, if you are not getting it, then blindly press F12 configuration, because this F12 configuration is a dynamic configuration. It is not a standard configuration that is available. It is a configuration which is related to the screen that you are in. So you will notice that the configuration will keep changing depending on the screen you are. You will have different configuration at the master level, different configuration at the transaction level, and different configuration at the inventory level. So if you remember this two secret, you will start loving Tally, and you will really feel very comfortable, and you will enjoy actually using Tally. So now I will also actually be using these two secrets. So just to demonstrate and show you that how simple and easy it is for us to navigate through the product or the various information that we intend to get it. So first, let me just go to the current assets. Now, when I go to the current assets, one sec, I'll just one sec. I think I'm done with the PPT. Let me just minimize this. I'm not able to see the button bar because you know that the webinar tools, the menu is blocking it. So I just want to see the button bar, and I hope all of you are able to see this now. Right. Okay. So I'm just starting the company. So I'm in the balance sheet. So I go to current assets and I go to sundry debtors. Now these are the outstanding that I have. Right. So the sundry debtors outstanding as on date, as on 20th of January, these are my outstanding. Now, how do I set up a credit limit? What are the things that I can, like enable or configure for the party master? So first is, let me just quickly see what configuration that I've done for this my customer Forefront Electronics Private Limited. No, I want to see the master. So I need not have to actually go out of the screen and then like go to the accounts information, ledger, alter. All I need to do is just select the master that I want to view and press Control Enter. It is going to take me to the ledger alteration screen, secondary screen. Now here, I think you need to just see my mouse here. So if you see here, under sundry data is fine, then maintain bill by bill, we are saying it as yes, and the default credit period is set here. So the moment you set this default credit period here at the master level, right? And there is an option, there is a configuration option in Tally where you can say, don't allow modification of all my configuration during the voucher entry. If you say as no, then what happens? Whatever configuration that has been set at the master level, okay, it auto populates in the transaction, but it will never allow the user to modify that configuration at the transaction level. So I can set up here at 15 days, so it auto populates. Now this is where I was talking about check for credit date during the voucher entry. Now supposing if there is any bill outstanding of this particular party, and if it is overdue, and if I'm raising an invoice, the first warning that we are going to get, it's just a warning. Okay, the first warning that you're going to get, Tally is going to tell you that how many bills are pending and whether it is overdue. So I'll just demonstrate and show that. The next is specify credit limit. Now this is where you can actually specify the credit limit for the party. Now with the security control, we can have various controls for security where if you don't want your junior colleagues in the office or the junior staff to meddle with this, with the security control in Tally, we can basically control these things so that nobody goes and tampers with this information. So this is where you set up the credit limit, default credit period, and then basically verifying during the voucher entry whether the bills are overdue and specifying the credit limit. The moment you specify the credit limit, Tally will allow you to raise the invoices up until you reach this credit limit of 5 lakh rupees. Right? Now, let me just show one example of Sagar computers. So Control Enter. Now, if you see Sagar computers, basically, I have given a credit period of 7 days here, and the credit limit that has been specified is 75,000. Right. So let me just now raise an invoice. So already the outstanding amount is 70,000. Let me just make an invoice and see what happens. So now again, I don't have to go back to gateway of Tally, then voucher entry and all those things. All I can do is I can just come down here. Okay, so this is the month of May. So all I need to do is, this is what I was talking about, I mean, like using the button bar, right? So secret number one is button bar. Now I want to actually add a voucher. Now when I want to add a voucher, do I have to go back all the way and then do it? No, not necessary. Use your secret number one. See on the right hand side button bar whether you have an option to add a voucher. If it is not there, look at the bottom button bar. Now at the bottom button bar, there is a button which says Alt A, add voucher. So all I have to do is I'll say Alt A, and then the best part is that if the cursor is there on your sales voucher and if you are saying add voucher, Tally will automatically open the voucher type on which your cursor was highlighted. If it is on a contra payment receipt, it is going to open the same voucher. Now let me just make one. My
Sir,
last date of voucher entry was 20. Yeah.
so
Yes.
many of them are asking for the screen to be fully to make it full screen. Can you maximize the screen, please?
Okay. Okay. So is it
Yeah.
okay?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Sorry. So now I am going to. My last date was 20th of July. So let me just pass this on 20th of July. And here, sorry. And here again, so all I have to do is I'll just say 20 JUL. So it will automatically take 20th July 2020. I think it's 2020. One sec. 2020. Yeah. Because I'm not able to see the right hand corner. Okay. So now I'm going to select this Sangam. I'm going to take this Sagar Computers. Right. So the moment I select the party, you will see on the right hand side, right, there is a warning. It says one bill of Sagar Computers is outstanding, due date exceeded. So there is this that 70,000 bill that we saw as an outstanding amount. It is actually overdue now. It is overdue. It is already exceeded the due date. So there is this one bill pending. So this is one first warning that Tally gives you. And so you say, okay, let me just go ahead. Okay, I'm aware of this. He's already promised me that he's going to pay in the next couple of days, or probably, I mean, like he's going to give me a post-dated check, whatever it is. So now I'm going to select just one particular item. I'm going to select. Uh, okay, okay. So I just say one number, 28. Let me just say two numbers, right? So 57. Enter, right? So this is my sales. Then this is Tamil Nadu party. That's why I just put the TN in the bracket so that I don't have to go and see which state he belongs to. So IGST, I'm going to charge, enter. The IGST will get auto computed, auto calculated, and I'm sure all of you are aware that once you enable the GST module and when you are doing an invoice, whether you are making a purchase invoice or whether you are making a sales invoice, if Tally is not calculating tax, that means the user is made some mistake in the master configuration. If Tally is calculating the tax correctly, the value of tax gets computed automatically in Tally. That means the configuration that we have done for GST is right. Okay, now new reference, I do this. Okay, now I get this thing. Now it says error. See, the earlier message was warning. Now this is an error message. It says credit limit of Sagar Computer is 75,000. It is exceeding, but now the current balance is going to be 138. Now, before even raising this invoice, if you see, here you have this option just below the party's name. On just look at the left hand side corner. Current balance, it says 70,918. Then credit limit, it says 75,000. The credit limit. Now, sometimes what happens, I mean, like by default, you might not have this configuration, right? Now, this is where you will again use your second secret, which is F12 configuration. Like for example, the current balance itself in Tally, if you see, I just quickly run through this. The current balance itself in Tally, if you see, these are the various options that are available, right? So I come and just one sec. So there is some more options available in F12, right? So allow income show just one sec. So here is where, basically you can configure this to see what is the balance type that you would want to see, whether you want to see as on the date of the voucher or as on date, all those information. So this is another very important area that basically you have to remember. Anything that you want to configure, anything that you want an additional field which you feel which is not coming, which is required, and if it is provided in Tally with the help of this F12 configuration, you will actually get this information. Now this is where we saw this. It will never allow to save the voucher. So it says credit limit is exceeding, and then it will never allow to save the voucher. So one is that, yes, basically you might have to go with the, supposing during the security control, if I'm a data entry operator, if I don't have the rights to go and change the credit limit, I have to go to my senior or my boss and then ask him to go and change the credit limit in the master, and then basically allow me to do the invoicing. Okay, I'm now just coming back to the Sunday data statement. Now here, basically, I just want to see the bills receivable. I want to see, okay, this is the total amount of money that has been outstanding. So 19,15,000 is outstanding. So what are the bills that are there? How many bills are overdue? I want to see. So now again, I don't have to go back to gateway of Tally, statement of accounts, and then go to outstanding and all those things. Use secret number one. The secret number one is that on the right hand side, you have a button which is F10. So there are actually three buttons. Now this F8 is basically related information. F8 will not be available on all your reporting screen. It depends on the type of report that you are viewing. The F8 screen will be available or it will be disabled. But this F10 and F9, in almost all screen it is available. So F10 is the accounting reports, which means basically, so this is where Tally helps you to have a kind of experience of multi-window. So from this particular screen, if I want to see the outstanding screen, all I need to do, so F10 is accounting reports. There are some specified, not that every accounting report is available. There is a list of accounting report that Tally provides. So basically the user can go and access any of those listed accounting reports from any report. Similarly, there is F9, which is basically the inventory report. Again, there is a predefined reports which are available, which the user can access. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press F10. And here, this is the predefined accounting reports which are there. What I want to do is I want to see bills receivable. So I go to bills receivable and I press enter. And I now get the list of all the bills which are pending. And if you notice here, there is some reference which says vehicle 1 of 5 and all those things. Then festival 1 of 5. It's basically, if you see, the ledger is salary advance employee 1. So I'll just come to that a little later. So what is that we want to see is basically your sundry debtors. Now I said receivables. These are the money that I'm supposed to receive from my employees' advances also. But then my focus area here is that I want to now see the bill-wise outstanding of my sundry debtors only. So what do I do now? Now again, you have some option in Tally. If you see, you just see at the bottom of the button bar, there is one option here where I'm hovering the mouse on this, which is remove line, where I can go and remove a line from the report. And by removing the line, we are not deleting it, is actually, you are actually removing the line from the display. Now I don't want to do that. So what do I do? Again, I'm going to use my secret number one, the right hand side button bar, where there is an option which is Alt F12, which is range. Now again, I'm sure many of you would have definitely used this beautiful feature of range and value in Tally for you to pull out the information you are looking for. And lot of informations can be pulled out from that. I'm just giving one simple demo of how can I filter and see only those ledgers of my sundry debtors. I don't want those salary advances on top to be appearing for me to now do this thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press Alt F12, Now this is the range information. Basically, it's like an SQL query. So basically, I'm going to do a query on this particular report and ask Tally to give me only those information which 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 is required by me. So what is that? The report that I'm actually seeing is the bill-wise report. So in the bill-wise report, Tally takes type of information in the bill. What is that I'm looking at? I'm looking at ledgers with the group name, with the group. What is that I'm looking for? Name. So what am I seeing? Now these are the various options that are there. I mean, like, the range of information. I'm saying containing. Since I'm using this argument of containing, I can specify the word. I mean, so I don't have to specify sundry datas. I just say DBQRS datas, enter. Now you can have and or R argument. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to say end of list, right? And now you see this report is filtered only to those ledgers which are of sundry debtors, which have been grouped under sundry debtors. Now, again, I'm sure that all of you are aware. You see, when in the display, you will see that one is that there are some values which are bold. Then there are some values which are in the normal font. So all the bold values are overdue invoices, right? The normal one are it is not still due. uh, I hope you people can see this because I'm not. Let me just see. Yes. Okay. Now, so and also in this report, Tally gives you overdue by days, and all this is very important if we are capturing the due date, right? If we are able to capture this due date, all this analysis we will get it by click of a button. Now, these are the outstanding which are there. It says 76 days, 94 days, 76 days, 50 days, and all this. So then I want to see what is the value that is being outstanding with an age-wise, so that I need to know for any given period, right? I want to know what is the total value. I don't want to take a calculator and then see, okay, how many within 30 days, 40 days. So Tally has it again, remember secret number one. On the right-hand side button bar, you will see F6 age-wise. So all you need to do is just click on F6 age-wise, take the cursor, click or press F6. Now here, Tally is going to ask you the method of aging. Now, there are two options. Do you want to see the aging by bill date, or do you want to see the aging by due date? I mean, in this case, it really makes sense for me to see the aging by due date, because in any case, since I've given the credit period, I can't ask my customer to pay before the due date, right? So what I'm going to do is the method of aging is I'm going to select aging by due date, enter. And now it says, now this is where the user can actually specify the aging period, right? So I've just set this at 0 to 15. I can say 0 to 30, then it automatically takes to 60 to 30 to 60. I can say 60 to 90. Then I can say if I want to break this, I don't want to go beyond that. If I want to break this, all I do is I just press 0 and enter. It becomes 90 and above. Now, the moment I enter this, I am now getting my age-wise report. I'm going to see what is the pending amount. Less than 30 days, 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days, 90 days above. I'm able to see this information, right? Okay, now let's just come back again to Sundry Data's group. Sorry. Yes. So we are here at the Sundry Data's group summary. Now, in the bill-wise detail, there are other, I mean, like a lot of other features which are there, which becomes very handy. Like for example, let me take one simple example of the party Sangam accessories. Let me take this party Sangam accessories. Now there is 3,21,378 pending with this particular party, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press enter. This is going to give me my monthly breakup. Right now, here again, what I'm going to do is again I'm going to use my secret number one, but this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and see what is this F8 related report is going to allow me to access. Now, this F8 related report is whatever I'm seeing here on the screen, I am seeing on the screen the ledger monthly transaction of Sangam accessories. So if I press F8 related to this particular party, what are the other information that I can see? For this particular party, I can see bill-wise detail, interest calculation, various other ledger analysis, cost center, and if you have enabled all those things, I can see my sales order, purchase order for this particular party. Now, what I want to see here is I want to see the bill-wise detail for this party. In the earlier one, by pressing F10, we went to the entire bills receivable. In this case, we have gone into the Sangam accessories customers ledger, and we are now by pressing F8, I am seeing the related report. The related report that I am viewing now is the bill-wise detail. Now in this bill-wise detail, if we see here, both the amounts are overdue, both the amounts are pending. Now, as an owner, if I am seeing this, and I just want to, I'm gonna like call this person and find out why is it getting delayed. Maybe I would like to talk. Sometimes what happens, I'm like as a owner to owner, we might have to have this kind of call and follow up kind of a thing where we can't ask our junior or down the line people to follow up, especially through the call. So what is that I need now? I need to know what is the contact number of this person, who is the contact person in Sangam accessories. So all this information, when you're creating this ledger account, you would have seen all those information that are available in the ledger master creation. If you start capturing those information, now again, secret number one on the right hand side button bar is that you want the contact, you want to know who's the contact person and what is this contact number. Maybe you can quickly, like probably you would have not saved on your mobile as Sangam accessories, maybe you would have saved the owner's name. So now you want to know, it is not coming on top of mind, you are not able to recollect the name of the owner. So don't worry. So all you have to do is just remember secret number one, right hand side button bar, you click on contact, and if you have captured this information, you will see on the left hand side of the screen that the contact person name, mobile number, all these informations are available. In fact, you can also capture some notes. Right now, here is where you can actually make a call. Unfortunately, you can't dial directly from Tally. Hopefully, we should get it sooner, right? So this is one information that is there. So I got this contact detail. Now, let us assume that I want to send a reminder letter to this person. I don't have to go out and then keep searching all those things. All I need to do is, I know that these are the two invoices that are overdue because one is almost 76 days overdue, the other one is 7 days overdue. Now, what I do is, I say Alt P, right? Now, in the moment you press Alt P, you have this option here. Now, again, this is the print configuration screen. Now, in the print configuration screen, if you see, there is one option which says print reminder letter. So I just press backspace. Then, do you want to include post-dated transactions? See, sometimes what happens, probably there are a lot of bills outstanding. Sometimes, probably as a company policy, you might be having accepting of post-dated checks or maybe issue post-dated checks. But then if you are arriving at the correct outstanding, basically if you want to include and give that information to the customer, if you want to include the post-dated transaction, you include the post-dated transaction. Then yes, what I want to do, like I want to print this particular information, I want to print this particular statement as a reminder letter. So I'm just going to say yes, I want to print as reminder letter. Now you can remind him saying that this is my, hey look, this is my bank account, this is my bank detail, so please transfer it online or issue me a check. So just it's a reminder for it. So I can provide my bank information also. Now the moment I select this bank information detail, it is going to show my bank's thing. Now when I create my bank account, so I have created a ledger called HDFC Bank. When you create your bank account, basically you can capture the account number, your IFSC and various other information that is very critical, which will get captured in this thing. Even in the invoicing, you can actually capture your bank details. So I say that I want HDFC Bank, and what is the designation of the signing authority? Okay, I'll say accounts manager. Okay, so now show due on. So when you have to show when is it actually, these are the two bills that are outstanding. So I want to know when is it due on, and also I want to remind him by how many days it is overdue. At least, I mean, that person might feel a little guilty, and at least he'll clear my 2,27,000, 1,27,000 of the balance amount, which is more than 76 days pending. Right? So show contact detail. I mean, like, enter this, and now here I can now print this. So you make sure that on the right hand side button bar again you have this preview. I mean, like, you have this preview like all time. If you say print preview, you can actually preview this before even printing it. So I'm going to say print preview, and this is my, let me just enlarge it. This is my reminder letter. Just enlarge this. So this is my customer's thing, the contact person name, this is my company. And in fact, this statement can also be configured in Tally. You can, this is by default Tally gives you, it can be modified or it can be changed. You can put your own wordings there. Right now, this is where it is going to give you the bills detail. It is giving me all these details. Then overdue by, and see here, this is where it says this is the total amount outstanding. And in case if there are any post-dated check that has been knocked off against these outstanding, it will capture that, and it is going to tell me my final outstanding. It is going to reduce the balance of the post-dated check. That is because we have asked to include this particular post-dated thing. And this is where my bank detail is being provided in the letter itself, and I can basically, I'm like, now there are various options. I can email this, I can print this, I can export it in a soft copy. All these features which is there in Tally, I'm sure that we are aware of this. Alt P, and here on the top button bar, now I'm already, so if I say print as a reminder letter, I configure all these things. I configure all this information, and I can say export. When I say export, it will export into various format. Like, Tally provides, these are the various. This is exporting. I can export it into a JPEG, PDF, and various other things. Or I can straight away email this to the party. Only thing is, you need to just set up your email, the server detail and other thing. It is not very difficult. It is very easy, and especially if you have Gmail, Hotmail, or Yahoo Mail, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to be a technical person. In fact, I am very bad at the technical part. I mean, like, in fact, even today, if there is anything technical, I just go to my colleagues and I tell the boss, you do it. So it is very simple. If you have a Gmail account, just a Gmail account. It is very easy. It will ask the mail ID, it will ask the username and all those things. It will automatically configure, and then you can send it. You can mail it. And if you capture the email ID in the party's master account, master creation account, the email also gets captured here, and it goes as an attachment. So you can mail it. You can export it into PDF, then mail it separately. All these things can be done. Okay, so that's basically about the age-wise and the detail of this thing. The other one, like, let us assume now the party is actually making payment of that balance 1,27,740. I am already here in this bill-wise detail. So now again, I don't have to move out from here. He's already told me that, sir, I've made a transfer, and he sends you an SMS or a WhatsApp image. So now what I want to do is I want to now start capturing this information. I know the money has got credited into my account because I have this information. So what I need to do is I don't have to again go back to my gateway of Tally, accounts voucher, select receipt voucher, and all those things. Do all those things. All I need to do is, now this is the bill that is made payment. So I highlight this plus space bar, and this particular thing gets highlighted. And again, secret number one, on the right hand side, you have bill settlement, right? You just click on this bill settlement, and now Tally will actually create a voucher for you. So it says voucher type already, bill settlement, because you are receiving money from your sundry debtors. Receipt voucher is already selected. Date is already selected. The date auto populates based on your current date or your last date of your voucher. Then account, in which bank are you going to which bank it got credited or you're going to deposit. Then you can specify your narration, and all those information. And the moment you enter and accept here, your receipt voucher is ready. It will also take care of the invoice references. It automatically takes against your invoice reference. Everything is ready. All you need to do is just press Ctrl A to save this. So this way, from one single report, actually you can do various things if you remember these two secrets. Right. Now I'll just quickly go to this non-trading account and see how we can uh, use this bill-wise features for various other things. So I'm coming back again to my escape balance sheet. See, from my sundry data's group summary, I'm able to do so many things staying from there. So that way, what happens, the whole idea is that way, what happens is that my train of thought is not going to get disturbed. I mean, like, I can keep moving forward and you just keep pressing escape, escape, and you will come back. So now I'm here in the balance sheet again. Let me go to the loans, go to my loans liability. Enter here, I have this group of secured loans, and now here I have this Citibank vehicle loan. So enter. Now what have I done? So let me just first quickly show this transaction. Now this is a loan I have taken for buying a vehicle for my office, and I have to pay back in 5 installments. I've just taken this so that we can view all this properly. 5 installments I have taken. Now by default, all of you are aware that by default, when I enable bill-wise detail, all my vendors ledgers and it's basically all my sundry debtors and sundry creditors ledgers will automatically get enabled for bill-wise detail. But these are the ledgers which are not under my sundry debtors or sundry creditors. So which means these are basically called as non-trading account. So now I have to go and enable the bill-wise detail for non-trading account. By default, this doesn't happen. The user needs to go and uh, consciously go and configure this. Now, how do I go and configure this? Again, my secret number one, right hand side button bar, there is F11 feature. I just press F11 and this is my accounting feature. And if you see here in the outstanding outstanding management block, the first one is maintain bill-wise detail. Yes, it is already made, yes. And the second one is this for non-trading account also. So if you go and enable this for non-trading account also, every it will ask for bill-wise detail. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leverage this feature in Tally. So I have taken this, okay, I've debited my ledger scooter, right? I've credited, okay, let me just shift. Okay, so to explode a group, right? So to explode any information in Tally, I mean, I'm sure that you people are aware of this. This feature works in the report. It also works within the voucher. So you just press Shift Enter. It collapses. Shift Enter again. It will expand. So Shift Enter here. It collapses so that it will go and now open up the screen. So when it opens up the screen, see basically here in the bill-wise detail is what I'm going to do this. Now this is very very critical if we start capturing this due dates or the credit dates. Like I said, the cash projection is going to, it is like, I mean, it is freely we are going to get this very very critical and very important information for which you don't have to do any configuration in Tally. The most important, the most critical thing is that you have to take care of these things, right? Especially for your cash flow thing, the due date is very important. So here what I've done is that I've taken based on my due date of my installment, I've split into, basically it is into five EMI is what I'm going to pay. So May, June, July, August, September is my commitment. So I do this. By doing this, what happens when I go to my outstanding statement also, it tells me these are the outstanding for this as on date, right? That way I can also have a disciplinary fund flow or a cash flow management with my sundry creditors also, so that I can maintain my credibility in the market. And especially with the bankers, it is very very difficult. Credit rating is going to be a risky thing. So this is how you capture this, split those installment thing, capture this, and you capture this information. And now when you come to your, this is your payable, right? When you come to your payable, you will see those things in the thing. So let me just quickly see this, show this. F8, again, I'm going to say F8, related report, bill wise detail, right? So you see how simple, easy, and quick is it for you to navigate. Now this is what it is going to give me this. All this installment wise it says. See, it says I am seeing this report as on 30th of April. So my first EMI due is on 1st of May. It is not overdue. Depends on the report what you are seeing. So just to demonstrate, let me just say Alt F2. I am going to say, so you don't have to, again, this date is so flexible, and it's very interesting field in Tally. You really don't have to do it. There's a lot of intelligence built inside Tally. Now, if I want to see from 1st of April, all I have to do is I have to just type APR. Tally will know you want from 1st of April, and Tally, when you open a company, company gets open for a current financial year, one financial year, which is your current financial year. So it will automatically capture the date of the current financial year also. Now in the two, I want to see as on 31st of July. So all I do is I just say JUL, enter. Now Tally will know that you want to see as on the last day of July. So you see on the right hand side corner, 1st of April to 31st of July 2020, and you will now see the overdue days because the payments have not been made, right? Now,
Sir, can we
yes.
take a couple of questions now? I think there are questions pending right now.
Okay. Uh, okay, let me just see if I'm able to see those questions.
Somebody.
Yeah.
So the question of what are the basic options to be activated that it will show credit period and limit on my customers and creditors?
Sorry, 1 second. Uh, the question is here. Yeah, can you just repeat, Komal?
So one first question, what are the basic options to be activated that it will show credit period and limit on my customers and creditors?
Credit period and credit limit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Now, one is that for the credit period and all those things, it is automatically, I mean, like once you enable the bill-wise detail, you will automatically get it. And I think it's a very good question. I think I missed out to explain this. Okay, so let me just say F11 feature. Now here, maintain bill-wise detail is yes. Right, the moment you do this, you will get this credit date and warning for the overdue bill and all those things will come. But if you want to set up the credit limit, right? If you want to set up the credit limit, then you have to make sure that under budgets and scenario management, maintain budgets and controls. See, this control needs to be enabled. So you have to enable. So for you to specify a credit limit, then you have to make sure one is the bill-wise detail definitely needs to be enabled, and make sure that this maintain budgets and control option is also enabled. If this is not enabled, you will not have that field for you to capture the credit limit. I hope this is clear. Yeah, any next question?
Yes. Next question is, how can we create installments in reference to scooter ledger?
So now this is what I was actually showing you. One second, hold on, please. Yes. So this is my voucher. So, okay, let me just quickly create one more so that you will get an idea. Escape. So I'm going to say Alt A, add voucher, right? So okay, let it be April. Date is okay, no problem. Let's say I'm going to buy a machinery. Fixed asset. Okay, so now I don't need bill-wise detail for this. So make sure that it is no. Control A, and let's say that this is 50,000, which I need to pay back in 5 installments. So I enter 50,000 here, and now I come here, and I'm going to credit my banker who's given me the loan. So let me take Citibank here again, and automatically, the value comes 50,000. And now I have enabled, if you see Citibank vehicle, Citibank account, this is under secured loan. And because I have said use billwise detail for non-trading account also, maintain billwise detail is coming. This is very important for you to start capturing the installment. So here you make this as yes, maintain bill by bill, yes. And the moment you maintain bill by bill, it is going to now pop up your bill-wise detail. And in the bill-wise detail, what we are going to do here is you're going to select new reference. Now with Citibank, you already have one scooter, right? Probably the reference you can give it as machinery, MA or MC, whatever. It all depends. It's basically this. The moment you see this name nomenclature, you should be able to recollect what is this. That's all. So here you can say machinery, okay, 0105, whatever. I mean, like it all depending on it. There's no restriction here. Now here is what I'm going to do. Now my voucher date is on 1st of April. Let us say every month I'm supposed to pay. So which means my first installment due of 10,000 rupees is going to be on 1st of May. So you say 1st of May, enter, and here very important thing, how much is due on 1st of May? 1/5, which is my 10,000 is due on 1st of May. So enter this. Now, since I have not utilized, see, basically it is allocation, like in the cost center allocation. What is the value of the ledger I have credited? The value of the ledger on the right hand side corner, you will see in the gray color, the value of the ledger that I have credited is 50,000. But in the bill wise, I have only now allocated 10,000. So now it will ask for the balance information. So again, I come back here to new reference, right? And if this reference, what you're given on top is pretty big name and it is difficult for you to do, I'm sure that all of you are aware Tally has copy paste facility also. Just come here, press Control Alt C. Control Alt C is for copy. Come here, enter. Control Alt V is to paste, and you come back, and then maybe you can do it as 2.5. Okay, and then this is going to be due on 1st of June. 10,000. I'm sure now you know how to do this, right? So this is how you can capture this information with the breakup of the installment. Yes.
The next question is it compulsory?
I'm not saving this voucher.
What is sir?
Yeah. Okay. There is one question by Mr. Deepak Agarwal. Can I enable bill by bill and inventory values are affected as yes, both concurrently? No. See, the moment if you enable bill by bill, you will see that the first option you will get, especially in case of your inventory thing, I mean, like for any ledger where you are saying, especially your purchase or sales ledger, the moment you say inventory values are impacted, Tally is going to jump. You cannot have bill-wise detail and you cannot have inventory detail. See, because inventory detail is basically, again, it goes by the concept of debit and credit. So all your purchases are going to be debited. So the moment you debit any inventory information, that automatically gets as an inward information, right? And the moment, I mean, like sales ledger is your credit ledger. Now, in case, let us assume that, if you, I mean, like that's the reason why you can't do bill-wise and inventory simultaneously. So on the credit side, it will go as an outward. I hope, Mr. Deepak Agarwal, I would have clarified your query. Yeah. Next question.
Vikas Ladwani, that is it compulsory to go to single customer ledger to set credit period and amount? Is there any shortcut to set for entire group of debtors?
Okay, good. See, sometimes, deliberately I don't tell the shortcut, basically just to see that, how interesting or how involved you people are there. Okay, it's very simple, very easy. Now I'm in the gateway of Tally. Now you don't have to go to each and every ledger to set the credit limit. So all you need to do the moment when the budgets and controls are enabled when you make this as yes. When you come to accounts information, if you come to accounts information, right? When you come to accounts information, come to ledger. When you come to ledger, now you will have this a new option that is available here, which is credit limit. So all you need to do is just come here and then click on the credit limit. Okay, so the moment you say credit limit, now it is going to ask you whether, I mean, like, basically whether you want to set credit limit for your sundry debtors or sundry creditors. Now, generally, I would want to set my credit limit for sundry debtors. So the moment you select sundry debtors, what Tally will do is Tally will automatically list out all those ledgers which are being grouped under sundry debtors, and you will see on the right hand side here three options, right? One is the credit limit, second is the credit period, and the third is the check for credit days during the voucher entry. In case if it is overdue, though the outstanding amount might not exceed credit limit, but then while I'm making a sales invoice to the same customer, if he is not made the payment and if the earlier bill is overdue, Tally gives a warning here. Basically, you are saying asking Tally to give a warning. So that way you know that, I mean, like, he's defaulted, but still you are taking risk to supply him further. Yeah. Next question, Komal.
Next. So we can continue for now on. We'll take by 4:45 in half an hour for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to have a break, 5-minute break, or should we continue?
We can continue.
We can continue, right? Cheek. Okay, so one we saw how to handle this installment part. Now I was talking about the salary advance where to a particular. So basically, I have an employee, or in my company, I have a policy where I give them. In fact, these are some of the real-time use cases that I've come across. One is that before me joining Tally, I was doing a lot of Tally implementation and other things. And during Tally also, when I used to go for client visits and all those things, I used to see those things. So I have seen the example that I gave at the beginning is the a live case where I had seen, right? So this is where basically you can minimize the number of masters and also. Let's say in my organization I have 2-3 types of loan. For example, I have emergency loan, I have festival loan, I have vehicle loan, whatever. Now I have, let's take a small company where I have 50 employees, and each employee, in any case, the moment you say this is the company policy, generally I would want to avail the benefit which the company is going to give me. Most of the time it is going to be interest free unless that person is filing income tax where you need to declare, I mean, where all this thing comes, right? So I would definitely want to take a thing. So in that case, if each of my employee is going to take 3 types of loan, then I literally land up creating 150 ledgers, which is, I mean, basically going to be more than my sundry debtors, creditors, or my indirect expenses. So how do we handle this case? And see, one is that you simplify things. At the same time, you are not compromising on the kind of information that you are looking for. That is very, very critical. So what I'm going to show you how we can handle this kind of a requirement. Now, let me come back again to balance sheet. Now in the balance sheet, I have this current asset. Under current asset, I have salary advance. Now I've just taken one employee's example. So I've created one group called salary advance, and all my employees, each employee. So it means literally, if 50 of my employees is taking advances, I am going to have 50 ledgers. Now to make it more simpler, unless it is not complicating, you can have one single salary advance ledger for all your 50 employees and for all 3 types of loan also. That is also possible in Tally by having one single ledger. For all this, most important thing is we need to have proper discipline in capturing the information. That's the biggest secret for you to get. I mean, like, we know this term called GIGO, right? So garbage in, garbage out. At the same time, if my person who's sitting on Tally and capturing the information, if he is smart enough, again the same GIGO will turn around things. What is going to happen? Instead of garbage in, it is going to be good in, and I'm going to get good out, right? So I've just taken one employee where I'm going to show multiple loans. Like I said, I can have one single ledger also in Tally. So now here I come to this particular employee. Now I am in this, let me just capture this. So I go to this monthly report. So there are two vouchers. So basically two types of loans this person has taken. So the first one, if you see here, now the same concept, what I showed for that scooter and the Citibank, it is the same thing. So what I've done here, if you notice on the left hand side here, the bill-wise detail, right? So if you see here, I've captured new reference. And in this case, since this is a vehicle advance is taken, I have given the reference as vehicle, vehicle, vehicle. And I've also split by is promised. I mean, like sometimes what happens, is not going to get an as we discuss or as we decide, but still I mean, like it's a good thing to capture this on a monthly basis so that we know that we can track and then start deducting this. So this is how you specify the month, which I actually showed you during the voucher entry now, and this is how you capture. So which means basically this is my vehicle loan to my employee number one, or salary advance or a loan, whatever it is. Control Q. Now I come back here, enter, and this, what was the earlier one? Yeah, the earlier one was vehicle. Now the second one here is he's taken festival loan, right? So another 10,000 rupees, which is said that every month I'm going to deduct 10,000 rupees. So now here this person has got festival loan and he's also got advance, I mean vehicle loan. Now let me come back to the monthly report and I will press F8, secret number 1, bill-wise detail. Now this bill-wise detail is for this particular employee, right? Now here, if you see in the reference now, I have a prefix for the reference. I have already specified what type of loan is this. You can see that vehicle festival. Now again, using your range filter, if you want to filter and see only the vehicle loan, you don't want to see the festival loan. How can you do this? Very simple. Remember secret number 1, Alt F12. I'm going to press Alt F12 and now I'm going to raise a query to Tally. It says, so information is again bill, bill having. Now in this case, I'm going to now say, I'm looking for certain uh, text in my reference number. So I'm saying bill having reference number, right, containing festival. End of list, and you see it automatically filters. So this way, now once you get this information, you can print it, you can export it, you can Gmail it, all those things, whatever is relevant or required by you, you can do this. So this is how it gives you your complete list of a particular reference. So you are now filtering based on the reference, and it is also tell you that whether it is overdue, not due. If it is already paid, you will also get the pending amount and all those information you will get. Okay. Now next is that right. So now let's come back again to our sundry data. Current asset, my sundry data. This is the list of my sundry data which is outstanding. So we have seen by how many all those bill-wise detail outstanding we have seen. The most important thing is that what is my loss of the return on this investment, right? One, yes, I've given based on the due date, I'm expecting my customer to pay so that I can manage my cash flow or working capital better. But then if I'm not getting my required, I mean, as per the due date, so there is this cost which is getting involved, which means my capital is blocked. I take loan from the bank, I pay interest to the banker, my sundry debtor is taking material from me, and then he is not paying me, he is enjoying. So I take loan, give loan to somebody, and I pay interest for both capital that is there. So how do you quickly see that what is this hidden cost or what is this hidden loss which you are incurring without, I mean, like in case where there is a default from your customers, right? So what I've done here, I'll show you how this interest calculation is configured also. What I've done here is that I have enabled interest calculation in Tally because I don't want to charge interest or anything. This is purely my MIS. Basically, I want to have better control because the next 6 months or this whole year 2021 is going to be very, very critical. Every single rupee is going to play a very important role in my business and my management of my organization. So I've already done this. So again, you use your related report. So I'm going to press F8 for this particular thing. Once. Right, so I'm going to press F8 related report. Okay, so here I don't have this interest calculation part. So let me just come back to gateway of Tally. Right, so I come here, come to gateway of Tally. Right, okay, first is that how do you enable interest? Right, so we know that any new feature we want to enable, we go to F11 feature. So you go to F11 feature and here accounting info, right, and here, okay, activate interest calculation and use advanced parameter. I'll tell you what is this advanced parameter. It is not complicated, it is very simple. So activate interest, use advanced parameter, you enable this. Once you enable this, you can set up the interest calculation. So first let us see the report, the impact, and then we will see how we can set up this so that we can reduce our damages. So I come here, the moment I've enabled interest calculation, now when I go to display and when I go to statement of account, an additional menu is available, which is interest calculation, outstanding, and then interest calculation. Now I'm going to enter on interest calculation. Now it says, see, I can set up interest calculation for my receivables and payables and all those things, right? So any ledger I can do interest calculation. So here in this case, my sundry data are receivables. So I'm going to press R, which is the hotkey, and you see here all this Tally does as at the background. You are not doing anything except that you are configuring once the interest configuration for that particular ledger, whichever ledger you want to configure. So now it says current assets. Uh, these are the thing. So my 19 lakh 15,000, which is outstanding, what we saw in our Sunday data is outstanding in the balance sheet, right? Now you see here, right? Tally is already calculated interest, okay, on all the outstanding based on the interest parameter that you have set. So I will just quickly show you what is the interest parameter. I'll just quickly show you. Now, if you see here, there is an outstanding, there is an interest amount, there is an outstanding, there is an interest amount. Interestingly, there is no outstanding, there is interest amount. What does it mean? It means that this particular party, who is this Subhash Dealers, is actually cleared as due, but is not cleared the due within the due date. So which means I have allowed him to carry my money, my capital with him, but he's clear. I'm happy. But then to that extent of that extra time that is taken to settle my money, 1,635 rupees is the loss for me for giving him additional days of credit apart from my agreed due date. So you want to see what is this? Just press enter, and this is what it is. Just press enter again. Tally is going to actually give you the detail. Now it is going to tell you that, right, so this amount was supposed to be, so if you see here, it will tell you this is the opening amount, right? It says on 27th April you are supposed to get this. I'm just see my cursor there on the left hand side, top corner. So 24th 27th April it is due, but this person is paid on 14th May, which means there is a delay of 18 days. I have said 12% is the simple interest per annum. So which is basically works out to 1,365 rupees 07 paise, which is my loss. Even though there is no pending amount, this is the interest that I have lost. See, basically what happens, this is one report, one information will basically tell us what is our real profit, what is my real GP, or what is my real thing. I mean, like, I might say that I'm getting a beautiful, I mean, like, today 15% GP, especially in trading, is a really good thing. I mean, I might be in a dreamland saying that, okay, I'm getting 15% GP on my product, but then my customers are paying late. So I'm see here in this case for 7,97,000 rupees, 16,228 rupees is my loss. Right? So this is how you get this information. Now, quickly, how can we configure this? Since I've enabled my interest calculation, all you have to do is just come to this party account. Now, it is, see again, it is not that the beauty of Tally feature. This is what we say in Tally is the incremental implementation. It allows the businesses to implement incrementally. So what is this? Now you would have raised bill wage. I mean, you would have created bill wage detail. You would have raised invoices, and then there are so many things outstanding. But now, let's say you are in the middle of the year, or you are at the end of the year, or you are at the third quarter. But then now you want to see what is the loss of interest that is there for my overdue outstanding. Can I do this now? Yes, you can do any time. So what you can do is when you're seeing this particular report, you come here, select this particular ledger, and it is control enter is to go to your ledger master alteration. And in the ledger master alteration here, because we have enabled interest calculation in our F11 feature, you have this option called, on the left hand side, you see my cursor, interest, activate interest calculation. Now I'm going to say activate interest calculation. Yes, right? So there are two ways of doing it. Do you want to calculate interest on the closing balance? Generally, in this case, especially in case of your debtors and creditors, it is an ideal thing for you to calculate interest transaction by transaction. Right. So let's not worry about currently about the overriding, because I'm not going to completely cover the interest calculation, because this itself is a separate another 1 hour or 2 hour of session. So just for you to quickly see the damage that you are undergoing. So just say calculate interest transaction by transaction, and this is again additional thing, whether you want to include the amount added deducted, just say yes. And this is where it is very simple. You say 12% is the rate of interest, whatever percentage that you want to apply. And this is the interest style, whether the percentage is on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. Just select calendar year, and you can say, in case of debtors, you can say that only debit balance. Generally debtors, you will have debit balance. In case if you're receiving advance, and if you have a policy of paying interest, you can say all balance. It all depends on what type of balance. So these are the configurations that are there. You can either say all balance, or you can say debit balance. Now, applicability here is very important. The applicability here is basically you're going to say, because you are going to, in any case, we have a credit policy and we have given them the credit period. So if there is any damage, because I know that this 15 days, 30 days credit that I'm giving to my party is what it covers my GP, my margin, and all those things. The real damage happens, the hidden damage happens past the due date. So I'm saying applicability, you will say past due date. Now again, I'm not going into this detail, just say past due date. And here what you have to do is just say due date of invoice or invoice reference. So from the due date of invoice till the day the payment is made, Tally will calculate the number of days, and it will charge 12% per annum. So this is how you configure interest just once you do it. Again, it depends to which party you want to do it. So I have done this for all the party. So it automatically gives me this information. Right. So this is again a very critical, especially now it's a very critical feature, which takes hardly 5 to 10 minutes for you to just enable, and it gives you a ton of realization, and you can manage better in these hard times. Now, like I said, proper management of bill wage detail, proper management of how to leverage, or how to tap the benefit of the bill wage detail for your various other ledgers, and how you can calculate interest and all those things. Now with all this, especially with your proper outstanding management, I mentioned that, automatic cash projection also you will get it, which is again going to be very critical for us. So now let's just see the cash projections. We have not done anything, no configuration, nothing is required. Only thing is whatever I have shown, those information, especially the sales purchase with the proper due date is what is very critical. Once you have done this, so we come to gateway of Tally, then we go to D for display. D is the hotkey. Then cash flow. Here you have this under display. We have cash and fund flow. So C is the hotkey for cash flow. I press C. Now you have this option projections. So all you need to do is just projections, and please hold your heart. See this. This is the reality of my organization, right? So basically, if you see here my cash projections, it'll always project from my last day of my voucher entry. So from it is going to give me my monthly report, right? So here what I'm going to do, I mean, if you see from 20th to 30th, now my current balance of cash, I mean my current balance, my current account balance is 432. I am supposed to receive 6,000 rupees, and payable is 413. So which means on 1st of August, if you see, my cash balance is so when I use the term cash, it is cash in bank. So my cash balance is 24,000. Then after that, it is going to go negative. How am I going to manage is one thing. Now this, what it does is that it just basically gives you the due amounts. I mean, it is not considering the overdue amounts, because overdue is something which it is. See, these are as per your configuration. These are the amount that they're supposed to get. So these are, see, the projection is basically your future. What are you going to get from 20th to 31st of March is the projection part. Now we have seen that there is so much of amount which is overdue. If I start putting effort in collecting that overdue, how is my cash flow projection is going to look like, right? So what I'm going to do, remember your secret number 2, that is my F12 configuration. So you press F12 configuration here, and so one is that I can now include my cash account also. I say include cash account also. I'll come back to the scenario a little later. And here overdues also, include overdue also. So I'm going to say include overdue. Now when I say include overdue, it is going to basically pick up all those money which is not paid, which is overdue. Enter. Now you will see there is thing. So now if I'm able to put my effort and collect all those overdues in the upcoming days, my position seems to be better, because we saw the other report earlier. From September on, it started going into my negative. But if I start collecting my overdues, and if I start paying my overdues and all those things, I seems to be in a comfortable position. So this is a very, very important information that is there. Now, this aspect, if you see, it is only giving you your receivable and payable. How Tally knows that you're going to get these amounts on such and such a date or in such and such a month? It is basically because of your due date. So Tally picks up on those amounts receivable and payable. Based on the due date, it is going to do a cash projection. Now the next question, it really is not going to help me with only receivable and payable as my cash projections. I have fixed expenses month on month, but I need to incorporate that also and see that what is going to be my cash projection, or what is going to be my cash flow, fund flow, I mean cash flow basically, and my working capital requirement. So Tally is providing you to capture uh, these projections of your other expenditure and your other income also, right? So generally we would take this for your thing, because sales and another thing is taken care, but generally it is for expenses, but you can do it for whichever it is. So what is that we are going to do now? Now to enable us to capture uh, the provisional entries for my cash flow projections, we have something called as scenario management in Tally. So it's again an additional feature. So all you have to again see, all this what I'm showing you is very simple. It is, you don't need any experts assistance to do all those things. So now you have to go back to F11 feature. So I'm going to F11 feature. Now here, for me to enable scenario, what I need to do is, so we have seen this budgets and control will allow me to give the credit limit. So just enable this second option under budgets and scenario, which is use reversing journal and optional voucher. So I'm going to press, I'm going to enable this. The moment I enable this, what is going to happen is that, let me just, okay, I'll just quickly come out of this. I'll show you this. So now I can now start creating my scenarios. So what I'm going to do, because I've enabled my scenario management, reversing journal and the optional voucher. So if you come to accounts information, you will now get a new menu, which is scenario management. So all you need to do is just enter. You have to just give a label for a scenario, right? And this scenario management, you can actually use it for various other things. I'm only just picking up for cash projection purpose. You can do projected balance sheet for any number of years. You can do projected P&L account. So many things you can do in scenario management. Again, I'm not covering the feature of scenario management. So you come here and you say, I want to create a scenario management. Just give a name for the scenario management. What I've done here is that, let me just show you the alteration part. I have already created a scenario management here. So the name I have given as cash projections. So what is that I want to do here, right? Now, under scenario management, any ledger that, any voucher type that I'm including here will, okay, it has to be in, it will be in a, it has to be an optional voucher, right? So I can only this optional, because optional voucher is one which is not going to impact my books of account, right? So what are the types of voucher that I want to use as an optional voucher for scenario management? So I will say, so if you come here, it is Tally is going to give you the list of all these vouchers. See here under scenario management, the payment will be an optional voucher. So all this you will see on the right hand side here. All this voucher type, you decide what voucher type that you are going to pass for your scenario management. You can select that. So what I have done is I've just taken one payment and receipt entry, and you save this. So your scenario management is ready. Now, for accurate and proper cash flow projections, you have to now start capturing your uh, provisional entries of your fixed nature or variable nature or whatever it is, depending on your business requirement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come, I've already passed a certain optional voucher. Now for me to see this optional voucher, again, what I can do is that, in Tally we have a report called exceptional report. I'm sure many of you are aware of this. So all you need to do is just DX, D for display, X for exceptional report, D and X. Now here, these are the various exceptional reports. In one of this, you will find optional vouchers. So I enter here optional vouchers and I will press Alt F2, right? And the other way of setting up the date is uh, in the period. So what I do is I don't have to specify the date. I want the entire period. I just want to see my entire year. What are the optional vouchers are there? So don't waste time entering the date and all those things. Spacebar, blanket, from is blank, to is blank. Enter. Tally will take up to the last date of the voucher entry, right? So 20th of June. But then I'm like, it is not giving me my uh, optional vouchers, right? Because I have passed them on the subsequent month as a projection. So what I will do here, I'll press Alt F2 here again. I'll say blank will be April. Now here I will say September, October. Okay, let me take till March. No problem. So here you will see that there are three vouchers which have been passed by me here. One is on 31st July, which is my salary, which is going to be my fixed cost, 50,000. Then I've just taken just one or two, just to show the sample, the impact of this scenario management. So 31st, again for the month of August, I've taken 50,000. Then for the month of September, I have taken rent of 1 lakh rupees. So let's see whether this gets participated as per the due date. So 31st, so July end 50,000 salary, August end and September end there is a rent. So these three things needs to be participated in my cash flow. So what I do, I come back here to get rid of Tally again, then I go to display and this cash flow, I go to my cash flow, enter cash flow projection. Cash flow projection by default is going to give you the future projections. Now you use your secret number 2, F12 configuration, and here in this configuration, just one second, I'm just moving the screen away so that I can see this. Okay. So one is expand all level, that is okay, not an issue. So I want to include my cash account also. Now include scenarios, right? So I say yes, I want to include my future projections also, and I want to include my overseas also. Sorry, overdues also. Now, if you notice, it is now including your other expenditures also. How do I see this? So one, I can just press Alt F1 is going to give me my detail, right? It is going to give you my detail, which is what I didn't do it in my F12 configuration, right? So let me just condense this. Now I go to my payables. Now when you go to your payables, it is now going to actually give you a complete detail of your payables, every aspect. You see the term loan, which is our Citibank loan, vehicle loan. The term loan was my opening balance actually. The Citibank loan, which is going to be due on those various dates, it automatically captures. The most important thing that we want to see here is the my scenario vouchers or my optional vouchers. If you see here on 31st of July, my cursor is highlighted there. For July 31st, there is 50,000 is already getting included there, right? So then for the month of August, salary 50,000 is again getting included here, and my September month rent of 1,000 also gets included here. Now this gives me a better sense of my cash projections, right? So broadly, if you see, this is all about our outstanding management, which you can leverage various other features of Tally, combine them into a suite for your requirement, and have a better and control over your business, and it helps the stakeholders to take a informed decision which would help you to manage your businesses better. The second part that we are going to cover, and I don't think that's going to take too much of a time. Let me see if I can. We have 45, we have 14 minutes. So let's see if I can quickly catch up on that part. So one is that the inventory management. So I will show you what is my objective that I want to achieve in my inventory management, which is what we saw in our PowerPoint presentation, which says that can I have just-in-time stock? How do I arrive at a just-in-time stock so that I don't overstock nor I don't understock, so that I don't meet it to my commitment? Now, for me to have this information, right, one is that, I mean, like, if I can enable purchase order and if I can enable sale order. So purchase order is something where what are the material that I require, at what interval I require, which is basically my due date, I mean, like, what is the time period which is required. Similarly, by capturing, whether you issue your sale order to a customer or no, it doesn't matter. It is all purely for your MIS controls. So the moment you get an order, make a sale order, right? So based on your sale order, you know what is the material that needs to be procured. You raise a purchase order, and once these two sale order and purchase orders are enabled, I will just show you the end result of our inventory session objective. That is, I go to my display, then I go to my statement of inventory, then I get a reorder status. The reorder status, you will get it the moment you enable your sale order and your purchase order. So I come here to reorder status, enter. Now I can actually see my reorder status for on sorry inventory group, or I can see my stock category. So stock category is basically, if you see, this is a very nice feature in Tally. This is a parallel grouping where you can do it. So let me just show on my grouping. So these are various groupings that has been created. So let me take overall group of laptops because those are my expensive items. So I will select laptop. So this will going to bring all my subgroups, everything, all my items under my parent group called laptop. Now, if you see here, see, this is the advantage of having your purchase order and your sale order. So if you see here, one, it's going to tell me what is my closing stock. Let me take one example of this. My HP laptop 17, right? The stock that I have, the closing stock that I have is 3 numbers. Now I already have a purchase order raised for 1 number, right? Now I have 3 numbers sales order due. So if all this happens, what is the next stock that is going to be available with me? Provided I'm going to get this 1 number of the purchase order gets delivered, and I now make a sales invoice of 3 numbers against this order. So the net available stock with me is going to be 1 number after this transaction takes place. Then now I'm saying this particular item. Now this reorder level is something where the user is going to decide based on the time limit of arrival and various other factors needs to be considered, right? So you will do all those, and now I'm saying that okay, now my reorder level of this HP laptop i7 is the reorder level. The moment my stock touches 5, I need to reorder, right? Now in this case, you see, I have a net stock of 1 number, but my reorder level says 5 numbers. So what is going to be my shortfall? My shortfall is 2. And I can also set my minimum order, because there are some vendors where they have this condition of minimum order. Like for example, supposing if I want to buy mouse, now the mouse comes in box of 10. Now if I'm buying from my distributor or something, now that person is not going to give me 1 mouse or 2 mouse. He says minimum order is 10 mouse, right? So similarly, I've just taken this as an example. So in this case of our HP laptop i7, minimum order quantity I'm saying is 2, which means whenever I'm going to place an order with this particular vendor for this particular stock item, I have to minimum place an order of 2. Now, what is going to be the order that I'm going to place? Minimum order is 2, but my shortfall is 4. So Tally will consider your shortfall, whichever is higher, whether your shortfall is higher or whether your minimum order is higher. Supposing, let us assume that if the minimum order was 5, then the order to be placed that you will get is 5 numbers. So this way, you will have a better control over your inventory, and you will know exactly when to buy, how much to buy, and all those things. So the other advantage of having this, okay, let me just quickly tell you how you can set up this reorder level and the minimum order level. Right now, this purchase order pending will automatically come based on the purchase orders that have been raised and what are the purchase orders that are pending. The sale order is again going to come from the sales order that you have raised in Tally. Those figures or values are going to get captured here. So this is what now the user needs to set up, and again this is a one-time thing. Reorder level needs to be set up by the user and minimum order level to be set up by the user. How am I going to set up this reorder level, minimum order level? I come back to gateway of Tally. Okay, now I go to inventory information. Right now, I am going to get this new option called reorder level. So I press R for reorder level. Now again, you can give a reorder for a single item. You can select a group of item. You can select a subgroup of item. You can select category of items. The options are available there. So let me just take group of item. We had given the reorder level for our laptop group. See, under laptop also, if you see, I have subgroup. I have created subgroup of Dell laptop is my subgroup, and various all those things. LG laptop is my subgroup. So, but then what I want to know and what I want to specify is I want to specify for my entire laptop items. Now, these are my entire items under my various subgroups of laptop. Now, this is your just simple reorder level. All you need to do is for each item, just specify once the reorder level, what is the reorder level, and you specify what is the minimum order level. Enter this, save this, and automatically you will get this report. The reorder level report will will auto generate. The other advantage is that you can have a better control over your inventory movement, which is an external movement, which is the procurement aspect of it or your delivery aspect of it. So by the module or the feature of purchase order and sale order actually helps to monitor my inventories better also. So since I've already enabled purchase order, sale order, I can come to display, right? Then there is the statement of inventory. Then I come to see there is sale order outstanding, purchase order outstanding, right? So I can go to my purchase order outstanding, right? So again, here we have an option, whether you want to see for a group, category, item, or for an accounting group, which means purchase order, maybe my sundry debtors. Some of you would have had sundry debtors like, sundry creditors. So some of you might have sundry creditors, Bangalore sundry creditors, whatever, subgroups. So you can select those group or you can select a particular ledger. Let me just select a particular uh, group, stock group, I'll select. Let's take the same laptop. Now here, this is what is going to tell me. Now my pending order is so and so, so and so. Now this is again, the report is group wise. Use your secret number one. On the right hand side button bar, you will see F5 item wise. Just press F5. It is going to give you item wise. Now you can use your F12 secret number two and see what all we can do. So press F12 configuration here, and see here there is this option which says, do you want to see opening order? Yes, I want to see opening order. I want to see order book. Do you want to see cleared orders and pending orders? Yes, I want to see the pending orders also. So I press Control A, and this report is going to tell me if there are any opening orders. It is going to give me my opening orders. Then orders booked, orders cleared. What are my pending orders? Now, apart from that, we also have the complete list of pending orders, where I can go to all orders, enter, and it is going to give me my list of all my pending orders. This is going to give me the list of all pending orders, right? So item wise, it is going to give me. And again, we can use this F12 configuration. If I want to see my pending purchase order and sending sale order, just press F12 configuration, and if you see here, you will have this show outstanding sale order. Yes, I'm seeing show outstanding purchase order, and Control A, and now it is going to give me my sales order outstanding, say purchase order outstanding. Again, this order management is again a larger feature which can be covered as a separate session, where there are a lot of options where you can pre-close and a lot of exceptional reports and various things can be done. Now, just simply for us to get to know how to manage my just-in-time inventory. So my sales order, purchase order is going to help me. Without this also, it is going to tell me. But then, with the sale order, purchase order, it is really going to give me that intended JIT way of my inventory management. So this is about my inventory management. Now, quickly, I'll just cover. I'm going to take maximum 2-3 minutes. So I'm sure that many of you are aware of this feature. So I come to stock item, alter. Let me take a particular, which I was talking in my initial during my PowerPoint presentation, that a particular item, if I want to change the valuation for whatever reason, right? Can I do it? Because I said by default Tally is going to give me, by default it is going to give me average. So let's take this example of this item that I have. Right now, here is where you have this advanced feature, which is my behavior part. Now, by default, this option will be, this will not be enabled. All you need to do is remember your secret number two, press F12 configuration. When you press F12 configuration, you will have this option, allow advanced entries in the master. You will see here, if you make this option as yes, make this option as yes and press, you will get this information. Now, one is the costing method. If you see here, these are the various costing methods. Now, this is where for a particular item, if you want to change from the default average costing, which is set by the software, you can go and select any of this valuation method, and this particular item will have the valuation based on the costing method that you have applied. Right, so this is one aspect of it. Then market valuation method is basically, again, this is like, basically it helps me to do a analysis or analytics of what is the total value of inventory that I'm holding, right? If I were to sell this item at my average price, or okay, let me tell you. So these are my various things, like last sale price. If I were to sell based on my last sale price, okay, what is going to be the value? And it is very simple. My cost, my average cost minus my average price. The difference between the two is the cost of my profit that I'm sitting. It is like a sitting duck in my organization, right? That much money is lying there, which is not going to be, which is not being utilized. So this is where you can use this what if game, and all those analytics can be done with those options available. Please remember, again, two secret: right hand side button bar, bottom button bar, and your F12 calculation. You will get whatever you want. Okay, so this is the average price, and then ignore. Okay, this is the two things which I was talking about. Treat all sales as new manufacture. Supposing I create, for some reason, some stock item which is not going to be produced or which is not going to be purchased, I'm going to use it only for my invoice purpose or something. I don't want to screw up my closing stock value, because this is going to show negative, and it is going to reduce my closing stock value. So if I don't want to do this, by enabling this option, treat all sales as new manufacture. So that means the moment I make a sales invoice of 10,000 rupees, because sometimes what happens when I'm going to do this time billing, right? So sometimes client would say, you tell me how many hours you have worked, or how much. Probably I would have told my client that, I'm going to charge you hourly basis. So I'm going to say I'm going to do trading for 3 hours. This is what I'm going to charge. So in my invoice, I need to capture that. I can't do that in my accounting invoice. So I need this inventory. So I can take the leverage of this inventory feature and I can do it. But at the same time, I should make sure that my other inventory values are not going to get disturbed. So this is where Tally helps you. It says treat all sale as new manufacture. The moment you make a sales invoice, you will automatically get an inward entry for that quantity, and your stock will always remain zero. It will never become minus, right? So that is this option where you can, again, these are all specific to a particular item that you want to do it. The second option is the vice versa, the converse or the reverse of this. So I gave an example of the consumables. Now I want to know, on a monthly basis, what is the periodicity at which I am buying, what quantity I am buying various consumables, because I want to know, because I want to track that. But I am not interested, and it is go. See, my cost of, see, always we have to remember, my cost of information should not be my cost more than the cost of my administration, right? So if I start issuing this one screw, five screw, then I'm going to have one storekeeper for this. It is not going to help me, and it is going to defeat the entire purpose of my objective of, better management. So in this case, what happens, I will buy, yes, I have purchased, like for example, especially in case of manufacturing units, where I keep buying diesel, petrol for my thing. But I want to know whether, like how much we are really consuming. I want to know what quantity of petrol or diesel I am buying, right? What is the value of petrol or diesel that I have been buying periodically, month on month, and I can do various analysis. But at the same time, I don't want to go and keep on issuing 1 liter, 5 liter, 10 liter. Now, when you enable this option, let's assume I have this item called diesel, and I have purchased 100 liters of diesel. So which means, every month I buy 100 liters every week, right? So now in this case, I go and make it as yes. The moment I make it as yes, the moment I make an inward entry, either through a purchase or through a receipt note, the inward entry will come, including my quantity, rate, and value. At the same time, because I'm saying that treat all purchase as consumed, automatically it will get consumed. and your inventory value is always going to remain zero. If you don't want the value of this consumable to form part of your inventory, is what I'm saying, right? So it all depends on what is your requirement. Tally is very flexible. If you feel that no, cost of diesel is very high, I'm always holding high inventory, then you don't have to do this. Then you have to have various other ways in which Tally allows you to do various other things. So these are some of the uh, like exceptional management of inventory will basically help you in your inventory management and getting an accurate inventory valuation and proper inventory thing. The last thing, which not but the least, but the last thing which I want to show you, very interesting thing, is in the ratio analysis. The lot of things under ratio analysis regarding inventory is what I'm going to show you in ratio analysis. So you just come to ratio analysis. One very interesting analysis or information that you get in your ratio analysis is this is very critical, right? Especially going forward with this great burden that we have in the coming months. So this is basically is an inventory turnover. What it says is that how many times are you able to turn over your inventory, which is very simple. If I have 100 rupees inventory stock with me, and if my sales is 200 rupees, I am able to, without further pumping in additional capital or money into my business on the inventory, right? I am able to make a turnover of one time. I mean, basically 100. My closing stock is 100, my sales is 200. So basically, I'm able to do 2 times the value of my stock that I'm holding as my sale. So the larger the number here is better inventory management. So this information as a as a overall information, this is going to help you that how are you managing an inventory. This information is going to be uh, uh, a stepping stone for you to start managing your other inventory, which is where you have this reorder level, you can set it up, and then with all those other features combined together, you can make sure that you already have Tally. Like all this while, Tally is like an ocean. Like people say, Excel. Tally is also, like one Excel where, in any organization you see, most of them I'm talking about, in any organization, hardly 10 or 15% of the feature of Excel is what we use. So, unfortunately, I have seen so many Tally customers. I've seen very few. I mean, you can count with your fingers the number of Tally users who leverage or make use of all the features. So there are a lot of features which are available, and it is not difficult to do this. And in the hard time, we really from Tally hope and believe that we will add some value, and we will give you more clarity. We will guide you how to run your profession or how to run your business using these various features of Tally. Thank you very much, all of you, for patiently listening to this session. And I hope that this 2 hours, 7 minutes that we have spent would have given you some. It is like investment of your time so that you can start uh, tweaking Tally and start leveraging Tally. Thank you very much. And if time permits, we can take questions. Otherwise, you people can write to us, and we will definitely reply to you.
So, Deepak Agarwal, you can ask your question.
Can we directly go from accounts menu info to inventory menu, info menu items and vice versa, sir?
Of course, yeah, we have like
Just like if you show us the screen in the accounting voucher, we can go from
uh,
accounting voucher to inventory vouchers.
accounts info, right? From
I do,
accounts info,
I'm sorry,
I
during the
will.
creation of the ledger, I want to create a stock item, sir. I suddenly came here and I want to create a stock item. Instead of
Okay,
creating a ledger, I
I
want to
got it.
create a stock item.
I got it, sir. I got it. That is not there. Definitely, I will take this as definitely a requirement, and I will pass on to my R&D team side. Unfortunately, we don't have this thing. But whereas in your list of account, you can see all masters, accounting, inventory, cost center, and all those things.
But
In the voucher,
it will be better, because sometimes what happens wrongly, we press stock item and we want to
Agreed.
create, and suddenly we realize that stock item was not created. Don't want to create a stock item, rather we want to create a ledger. Wrongly we
Agreed,
have
sir.
gone into a menu, right, sir?
Agreed. Valid input, sir. We will take it, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, next, Miss Payal Gupta. Yes, they can. Hi, ma'am, you can ask your
Hello.
question.
Actually, I want to know two things. One is that what is the difference between stock item and stock category?
Huh. Okay. See, stock item is basically the item is an SKU which you are going to deal with. Right? There are two things. One is stock group. Like for example, the way that we have created, I will just show you this. If you see here, now I'll take my stock item. Let's take the laptop, right? So in the laptop here, I have created a group called brand wise, right? So my laptop is my, if you see here, my laptop is my group. Now under that, I
Mm-hmm.
have this, four groups are there, four different brand wise, right? But then I've taken this example in this demo data that the based on the processor speed, right? So I3, I5, I7 is common across brand. So basically, if you see, cost category is something which is common across your inventory group. That is going to be your category. How is this going to help? Let us assume that a customer comes to me and he is very particular and he says, I want I7 only, right? So very easy for me now. What I can do is I can just go to display. I can go to my statement of inventory, and there is this category because I've already created this category. A category is something which is common across my existing groups. So I have here, you will see here laptop i7, right? So enter. Now this is going to tell me across brand what is the stock of the i7 processor laptop that I have. You will notice here on the left hand side it says Dell laptop, HP, LG, and Samsung. This is where it helps you to see items of cross grouping. I hope this is clear, ma'am.
I have one question also.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. If I want to join some proper session of inventory management, how can I do this? Is there any upcoming webinars list which you
We
can
do
provide
have,
us?
I think our team will definitely share it. And also, like you can go to our YouTube channel, Tally Solutions YouTube channel, and there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of videos uploaded there, and see if any of the videos can meet your requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
Next, I can see Sanjeev Gupta.
Yes, sir.
सर मैं संजीव गुप्ता बोल रहा हूँ
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
is there only option for simple interest, not compounded interest?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Interest calculation, is it?
Interest calculation as a simple interest
Huh.
only, not a
No, no, no.
compounded interest.
No. You have compound interest. There are a lot of configurations in interest calculation. In fact, I made this statement. I am just using this interest calculation to see my loss of interest in the outstanding money. But interest calculation is again a separate module where you can set up grace period, you can set up penalty interest, you can have compound interest. There are a lot of things that you can do. The interest calculation module itself can go up to on an average about 2 hour session we can do to cover this whole aspect of interest calculation. Yes, Tally allows you interest calculation on simple interest basis and also on compound interest basis.
Can we compare the actuals with projections?
Yes, sir. See, again, like I said, I mean, like, these are all various features. So scenario management, there are various scenario management where you have this reversing journal. There are a lot of things under scenario management. Again, the scenario management, budgets and controls are separate modules which requires a lot of time to get into that. So the whole
No,
idea
means
of
I'm talking of comparing it with actuals.
yes, you can do that is what I'm saying. That is based on your scenario management. You have your actuals
And
column and you have your
okay.
scenario. You can compare your actual with scenario.
So we can conclude our session. So firstly, I would like to thank you, Pugal sir, for a very enlightening session. In fact, even I had so much fun. And thank you for all the participants. So we'll see you in our next Tally Knowledge Series session, scheduled on 26th of it by C. Annapurna. Yes, the topic is Tally as a tool for effective GST and TDS compliances. So it's a tax-related topic. Thank you all. We'll end our meeting now.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.